Let's try again. So share screen. Hi, Courtney. All right, we're going to go ahead and get started. Good afternoon, everybody. Once again, my name is Brian Trendler, and you're at DigitalPNA. Thanks for being here. That's my face. We're going to move on. I'm the president. These are all the members. Not sure where they are, but hopefully they'll show up. Actually, I'm hoping that Michael will be here from BizX because I have kind of a neat opportunity for him during referrals and testimonials, but we'll see what happens. But a bunch of you are here, so thank you for showing up. And just in case you need a reminder what the $100 is, why that's there, if you refer people to DigitalPNA and if they apply and if they are approved, I give you $100 to say thank you. I guarantee you, I know for a fact, unless someone can prove me wrong, no other business networking organization pays its members as an incentive or thank you. And it's not the most exciting thing in the world, but I like money. Anyone else here like money? See, a couple people. So maybe that resonates. I'll put it toward candy bars from Kelly Landon for her nonprofit. So anyway, good stuff there. Need a couple volunteers. I've got 4 positions and 4 people, or 5 people. I will take the timer though. So I need someone that's willing to doodle. I'm going backwards because it's my show. Why not? Kelly wants to doodle. Okay. And Marcel, can I put you on the spot to be the tracker today? Listen. Oh no, I'm sorry. You're speaking, so I shouldn't do that. Holly, would you take the tracker role? Listen for quotables in case like someone number drops, stuff like that. That's always good stuff to have tracked, and then just put it in the chat window or send me an email if it's anything that we want to pass on to the members. Okay. Willing to do that? Yes, thank you. Photographer. Mike is connecting. Excellent. Courtney's on her phone, so I'm not going to put you in that position, my dear, unless you want to be.
I mean, I can do a screenshot.
You could screenshot. Are you willing to take on that epic responsibility?
Yeah.
Okay. Then you can slap stuff into an email or something and send me some attachments if you want to. So cool. Thank you. And Mike is still connecting to audio, so hopefully that is going to be a deep connection for him. There he is. Hey, Mike. Oh, he's still adjusting. Everyone just stare at Michael. We're all just going to stare at Michael until he connects. There he is. Hey, buddy. Welcome. Thanks for coming.
I am so sorry I'm late.
Okay.
I apologize.
I appreciate you being here, sir. All right. And you timed it just right to the point you don't have to volunteer for a role. So
great.
Way to go.
Finally, it's working for me.
Exactly. You're also yelling just a bit into your mic, just so you know. I'm currently bleeding from my ear, but thank you.
Okay.
I do appreciate it.
That's good to know.
It's good to know, yeah. Okay, so we're going to go into our commercials. You all know how to do this. Let's hear a commercial about your business. Maybe that sets you aside from your competition, things along those lines. And if you care to work into your commercial, have you done a Facebook Reel or Instagram story recently? If you have produced one, what did you get out of it? Did you actually maybe get a business opportunity? Do you know what I'm talking about? If you don't, then skip it and just give a commercial. But if you have done something like this, share a little something about it as well. Okay? Excellent. So we're going to kill the screen. I'm going to put the order of advertisements in the chat window. But we're going to start with Marcel because she's presenting today. So everyone has to promise to forget everything she's talking about right now, because afterwards we need to be surprised when she gives her presentation. So we're all going to kind of half listen, Marcel. So give it your half best. But commercial and then the tangent if you care to talk about a Facebook, Reel, or Instagram story.
Oh, good questions. Okay, hey everybody, it's Marcel with Dreamosity, and Dreamosity thrives off social events. I think events are a fantastic way to meet and greet people and to go deeper on that kind of business level, but usually more social, emotional, spiritual first, and then maybe business, or maybe just business first and then something healing later, who knows. But I look at our social networks through the lens of growth and expansion. Like there are so many ways to win with social media, and that is my role to help people navigate the wonderful world of the interweb and build a dynamic and fruitful sphere of influence, because it takes time, but it's very doable. And with that being said, I was invited to a dinner party last weekend where they had horses. So my last reel is a horse going stupid little audio to it, and I'm not expecting any leads from this, although I've gotten 3 strangers to like it. there is this dynamic thing about reels actually help you grow a new audience, where stories are really designed for your current audience. So if you are making reels and you want new people, that's kind of one of the secrets. Yeah, anyways, happy to be here.
Awesome. Thank you for that, Marcel. And just real quick, Jorge, great to see you, man. The tangent to work into your commercial after you've given us the awe-inspiring reality about you. Describe the last Facebook reel or Instagram story that you've produced, ideally. If you haven't, then just make something up. We're not going to know. And what did you get out of it, if anything? So the order is in there. Holly, you're up.
Okay, Holly Kemp North, Puget Sound Bookkeeping, and I am here to help you with your bookkeeping needs. Are you feeling overwhelmed? Do you have employees that you don't know how to take care of as far as payroll? Are you needing to clean up your books a little bit? Well, I'm here to help you with that. So small business, you know, any kind of, I'm open to all kinds of businesses. So give me a call. I'm here to help you. And as far as reels, I have not gone down that avenue quite yet, but I should. So I will give it a go shortly.
Thank you for that, Holly. Mike, you're up.
I am up. Thank you, everybody. Mike Enberg with BizX. BizX is a business-to-business barter network, which has a lot of words in it that sometimes are confusing to people. Barter is good and has been used for thousands of years because it allows you to get what you have using what you, or get what you need using what you have. It's a way to get those things that would otherwise cost you cash without using cash. A network is good because it puts thousands of companies into a community that buy and sell from each other, putting that full network effect behind your desire to get what you need by using what you have. So barter network, like BizX, makes barter scalable. What I think of it a little bit like a chamber of commerce, but if you add a transactional mechanism that allows all the members of a chamber to work together, to transact with one another. I like what Marcel said about your business being fueled by or working with social events, with people getting together. BizX is a platform for really people to get together, collaborate, and do business. We have used Facebook Live, not to great effect. It has not done a terrific job of driving us leads. What I think it has done is helped us clarify our messaging and put some items organizationally together for each Thursday Facebook Live event. So it's been an organizational tool for us more so right now than a driver of business. Brian, I think you're on mute.
I think I'm up, right?
Yes, I said thank you, and Courtney, you're up.
Yeah. Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Courtney Balza with Country Financial Insurance. I am an insurance agent and a financial advisor. I do auto, home, business, life, and financial planning. I am licensed in a few different states. Washington, Alaska. I'm looking at a map in my head. Oregon, Idaho, Nevada, and Arizona. And I am licensed to actually do investment business in all 50 states. So I do have one client in Florida. I was talking to someone yesterday who he's an investment client here, and he is just always thinking of people to send me. He's like, I have this friend in California. I just keep telling him to call you. And I'm like, okay, well, yeah, I can do California. I can do all 50 states for investments. So Yeah, so if you think of anyone who what I do is I look at your entire plan. So I do insurance and I do the financial planning, and I think it all goes together because you have to have the right insurance as part of your financial plan. And I like to educate my clients on how to do that and what that looks like. And that is what I do. I am not big into social media. I have a Facebook page, and I actually, so I don't really do video, but I boosted an ad the other day, and because it's actually Life Insurance Awareness Month, September. So it was an ad that I'd put out that talked about life insurance. It was just like, are you the person that your family depends on? And so I boosted that ad on Facebook, and I don't usually get the best results from Facebook for leads. It's usually bots or just people who I can't really help. And it's just kind of, I haven't gotten a very good response from the boost, so I just kind of stopped it. But
Yeah.
that's kind of what I've gotten from social media. I don't really get a lot. It's more the warm referrals, people that I know who can refer people that they know. Those are the best referrals for me.
Cool. Thank you, Courtney. Appreciate it. Kelly, you're up.
Hi, my name is Kelly Landon, and I run a nonprofit called the Union Connection. Currently, what we have up and running is Back to Loose in Snohomish County, where we get the community together to support law enforcement in times of need. I am really happy to announce that we are moving forward with the Dan Rocha Legacy Foundation. We raised $1,300 this weekend, so I can finally get the paperwork going. And that will be for kids pursuing public safety as a career path. We're going to do like mock oral boards, interviews, a physical. We're going to have law enforcement coaching for them along the way and give them tips and tricks about what it's really like to apply for the law enforcement field. I was actually looking and I thought I did a reel, but it was a video, but I did a canine video that went pretty viral. It was shared over like 500 times and there's 374 comments, but it's a video, not a reel. So I don't know if that counts.
Gonna count. That's great.
But yeah, I definitely am actually working with Marcel on getting our social media on the right page and trying to figure out how to get my ambassador program up and running because I need help. This is getting a little too big. So that's where I'm at. Thank you.
That's great. All right.
And finally, I think that's me, right?
Yep.
Sorry, guys. I've been snowed in over here in Quebec, so it's been a while. I wanted to say, so yeah, Jorge Ramirez with Raintown Real Estate. I love what I do, help people and get clients, both Spanish speaking and non-Spanish speaking, into contract. I help everyone from Snohomish, King, Pierce, and Kittitas County, and recently very excited, added Yakima County. So we are expanding, and if you guys have anyone that necessarily needs translation or is that first-time home buyer, I'm the person to call. I'm super excited. We're super busy and planning to take over the state, so, and Canada, if that counts. As far as the reel goes, haven't really done a reel. Few posts here and there, but I do have a marketing plan in place on Facebook. With my official Facebook Raintown page. So yeah, super excited.
Great, man. Awesome stuff. Okay, so I'm going to share really quickly because this is what happens when our speaker teaches me things and hounds me a little, respectively, trying to get me to do things better. It's one of the things I love about her. And can y'all see this? Okay, I don't know why there's no
Christian school. We just finished our very first annual gala. Brian was our auctioneer and we raised more money than we could have ever imagined. The party was fun. He kept the items going. We had bid wars. If you need an amazing auctioneer for your gala or event, you want to hire Brian. We are so thankful to everybody here and all of our group, and we're so thankful.
So that's like
Hi.
the coolest thing, because that's just a little bit of effort, me finally getting off my hump and listening to Miss Marcel. And I'm over in Lake Chelan sweating because it was hotter than 80s. But we had a really great event. And what I want to encapsulate is how easy it is to, and it really is easy, even for an old frumpy person like myself, to capture a moment like that. People are almost always willing, especially after they've gone through the exhilaration and high of a 3-hour, event and auction and fundraising type of thing, where they're excited and they talk about you. And so far, that's had 186 views. I'd love it if they can grow by 6 more views or 7 views today, right? Because you'll run over to Laugh Tech Facebook business page and go click on the reels and watch that. But some of those that I posted over the last few months are up to 500, 600, 700 views. That's not a ton, but it's exposure, and it's a really great opportunity. So with that being said, it's worth it. It's worth going through that effort to try to syndicate your own material and then push it out to your network. And the more we do for each other, that's really an important thing, because it'll help get more exposure. By the way, I'm Brian. Laugh Tech is the company that Marcel and I co-own. Stands for Learn About Funny Techniques. But when we're not doing funny stuff, predominantly over the last few months, I've been hitting the auctioneer circuit and MC circuit as much as I can, not just to drive revenue into other people's pockets from the standpoint of fundraising, but also our own, because we're trying to grow the business. So those types of referrals, any booster clubs, think elementaries, think high schools, they need fundraising. They've used the same person for years. Don't want to step on toes, but if they want to shake it up a little bit, if people are laughing, money falls out of their pockets. It's a great problem to have, and I love doing that. So that's what I want to share today. Okay, so back to cooler things here. Digital PNA stuff. Where'd my slides go? Sorry, dramatic pause. I, for some reason, have the wrong person in the image. Give me 1 second, folks. I apologize. Just a dramatic pause. Marcel, give us a seldom known personal fact about yourself while I'm basically stalling.
Seldom known personal fact.
Yeah.
I have a really cool presentation prepared. You
Yeah, you
guys
do.
don't know about it yet, but it's awesome, and I'm hopefully don't get all teary-eyed and cry during the presentation. I've never cried in a presentation that I can remember. How about that?
There we go. Okay. And give us a favorite hobby outside of your career.
I will say photography today.
Oh yeah. Had you not said that, I'd be disappointed. Actually, Marcel, grab your cell phone and open up your photos. Tell everybody how many photos you have on your phone. It's going to be pretty remarkable, people.
37,763.
Please never lose your phone, because I know
And
37,000 of those are not backed up.
1,995 of them are videos.
Oh my gosh, almost 2,000 videos. That is remarkable.
66 panoramas.
That's awesome.
1,300 selfies. Oh god.
Wait, how many selfies?
I think 1,300.
That's
I might be ashamed of that one. I'm not quite sure.
all right. So Marcel, I have given you full host capabilities because I know you're going to share your screen. I'll give you the yellow background. So once you bring your stuff up, see if you can keep my bobblehead on the screen. So I'll go, well, my screen will go yellow at 10 minutes. At 19 minutes, I'll turn it red, and you know the rest of the drill. So everybody, here we go.
You guys see okay? Let's see. I literally whipped this up in the last 48 hours, so I'm proud of it. So today I want to talk to you about how to develop your social networks to improve your sphere of influence. So we've all heard that term a bunch, and I'm going to dive in a little bit deeper. And also, so my logo here, if you ever look at my logo and you're like, what does that mean? To me, that little orb of glowing lights represents our dreams are evolving. Some days we're dreaming about a trip to Cancun. Some days we're dreaming about a beautiful fundraiser. Sometimes we're dreaming about riding a horse or getting married or just, I don't know, like floating on clouds. I don't know, like people have all these dreams. And in the social media world, it can happen very quickly depending on how well connected you are. And so big dreamers have a better chance of achieving them if they have a great sphere of influence. So we're gonna do a little story time today, starting out with this kind of sad photo with Kelly in the background. I think this was about 90 seconds after Kelly was like, Marcel, go sit down. You can't help. So, you know, just to catch some of you guys up, I had a medical fundraiser last weekend, 2 weekends ago now, because I'm like 2 years into this just horrific medical journey. I've had a lot of pain. I've been very just underperforming in a lot of ways. But it's been really, really, really hard to focus. And I've even had a lot of, what do you call it? Just fear and concern and, you know, like not depression, but like a lot of sadness and just confusion and pain and like, what the heck's happening? And I can't do this, right? So anyway, about a month or two ago, I ran to a Laugh Tech event, and then 3 friends came to my rescue, which then became like 200 people coming to my rescue. And so I'm going to share some of that story today and show you a little bit of data art as well. But this is kind of how, like, literally I drove from Bothell to Snohomish and I was in major pain. So I show up, I've got this like abdominal hernia from an old scar from other surgery, and like my intestines are literally poking through my stomach wall. Like it's terrible. So driving right now hurts me, which is a really sad part of the story. So anyway, I asked for help, kind of just, and people have come to help. And so this is that story of, you know, 15 years into my business, even though it's been a hell of a year, I have a remarkable network, and I kind of want to highlight and give a little gratitude to some of these people. And this was the space, they decked it out, the balloons. Ironically, the balloons here look a lot like some of the data art I'm going to show you to represent your sphere of influence. So stay tuned for that cool connection. And again, the people that put this together, I didn't even know some of the people, like they were friends of friends of friends, right? So there were some people that came to my rescue that I haven't even met yet. And so I'm like, how do I do a thank you note if I don't even, you know, like I don't even know their names? So I'm working through that right now. But I want to share the story about Lisa Hawkinson here. So she was one of my first clients. She's an author of Book Calm Your Chaos. She's actually part of Developing Digital, which she just doesn't show up lately. But I asked her for help, and she actually came out and poured wine that night. And I want to show, so I worked with her for probably 2 years. And as an author, so you can see her book in the top right, we developed a ton of memes, a lot of imagery. But then she came through for me that day, and she brought some friends, and then she volunteered. But the bubbles on the left kind of represent just 4 of the 20 communities that we're connected to, right? So our sphere of influence, we actually created a Facebook group called Smooth Organizers to help showcase her book, her community, her systems in downsizing and right sizing and like getting rid of the junk, right? To keep your house trendy. She's a great power partner for real estate agents, actually. So JR, I should connect you guys. Anyway, she was there, and I'm so grateful to her. Moving on, this is just a beautiful photo of the event. These women are actually from a group called Wise Women. And so this fundraiser actually served as a kind of reunion for them, which was really special. And then, so I have this picture again of them from Wise Women. But if you look at the little blue bubbles on the left, I'm highlighting different communities that were all represented in one way or another at this fundraiser. I've run a meetup on and off called Developing Digital you know, DigitalPNA, Digital Marcel, if you're watching this later on YouTube, this idea of building this digital sphere of influence. Like I've been talking about this for years, and it's fun to see my network come together for me after, you know, asking for help because I was, you know, scared and stuck. Anyway, so this just kind of showcases some of the people and the communities. It's not proportionate. I'm looking at the numbers now, and it's not totally proportionate, but you get the idea that it wasn't just one group. This is Marcel connecting in multiple circles over at least a decade. And I encourage that for my clients. I tell people you should have 5 to 25 communities that are your digital sphere of influence. Now, this guy is phenomenal. I met him at a TEDx stage years ago. We ran down front and we did a improv thing together. We've been Facebook friends ever since. I've come to his events. He's come to some of ours. And now he's mentoring Brian as an MC, right? So it was such an honor to have him there. I also want to say, if you look to the right of his ear, there's a Country Financial logo. Thank you, Cords Balza, for donating.
I was just going to say that.
So you were well represented there, along with their other sponsors. And then Jeff Ritter, I've known Jeff for almost 20 years now, you guys. Him and I go way, 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 way back. And it is so fun that we just keep connecting, and our networks keep crossing paths. And I love this photo of him. I think it's really wonderful. And then this one, I don't know, Brian, what you and I were doing, But I remember
I'm
Mark's
about to
wife,
bite your
Renee,
face. What the heck?
we were doing this weird like get your best side, and then we were switching sides. I don't know. It was just a really funny moment, and they captured it. But Brian was dressed all nice, and it was wonderful. And then Judy, one of our Laugh Tech graduates, she was there. Her and I literally had a dinner like 3 nights before, and she's a phenomenal, like soulful, spiritual woman. I'm super bummed she's moving down to Oregon soon, but she came and volunteered, and and so it's like I've had her in my network for almost a decade, probably more like 6 years, but she's just a phenomenal human being, and she came out to support. And then if you were to visualize like the Laugh Tech sphere of influence, and again, they all kind of blend together like the balloons, like they all kind of touch, but you can look at the people here. In the far left, that girl with the red glasses, Kate Carlson, she was one of the comedians that heard me kind of bitch and whine one night at a Laugh Tech event, because I was like, oh, I was ranting and I was really, really struggling. And she and Crystal and Brian are like, we're going to do something. And so the comedian community pulled together. We had, I think, 6 or 8 comedians donate their time for this event, which then made people like Kelly laugh her face off. A fun event, and it was really fun to think about all the joy we've brought to people because of this company. And it was fun for me to see it kind of come full circle, because again, you don't realize how much good you're doing until it's happening, right? And so Laugh Tech is one of my I'm technically business partners with Brian. It was one of my initial Dreamosity clients, right? So I'm so proud of the work that we continue to do in the marketplace, and just I'm grateful that they're awesome people, because otherwise I'd probably still be in a lot of pain. I mean, I'm still in pain, but not financial pain. Anyway, and then this group. So if you guys haven't joined Humor Heals yet, I invite you all to join it. I started this, I don't know, many years ago after a lot of grief and sadness. And this lady here, she's been in that group for probably at least 5 years. I don't know if you can see my cursor or not. Can you see my cursor? Yeah. So Wendy here, she's been in the group. She actually lost her son tragically years ago. So we've had many phone calls, but we hadn't actually met in person until this event. And she was like, I'm so glad you asked for help. Right? There's so many horror stories of people who just kind of leave this earth because they can't handle their hardships. And I had enough, I don't know, humility to say yes when they were offering help, right? Because it's hard to ask for help. Anyway, so I love seeing all these people. But if you look at the communities, and there's even more communities that are connected to our Laugh Tech program, to me it's just special to see that these people in the photos, they're not just people. I mean, they are humans and they're wonderful. My sisters that are laughing with Brian up in the top photo. But we, like, again, it's magical to see where these people come from. And then when you get them into your network, you keep them in your network, right? If you do it right, you love them hard, and you laugh together, and there's magic that can start happening. I just want you guys to know it's rarely do people come from a Facebook ad and buy. Like, oftentimes they come to an event, you make friends, and then they buy when they're ready, right? Like, there's often a slow social conversion at times. Again, just a great photo of 2 of the comedians and Larry there. And then this one, I love this photo because it's got Brian. He's a little bit fuzzy in this one, but if you guys can see my face down here, I don't know what they were saying, but we were all having a great time. And then like over here, like this table is like the Mill Creek Chamber, and behind them are a bunch of friends from the comedy night. And back here is my sister and nephews and friends from Toastmasters. And this is the guy who cut my hair the day before, and her parents came out to the show. And so like to me, it's just wonderful because I know each of these people, or I just met them, and I like instantly just want to love them and hug them because they've been so generous to come out and show their support for me in a time of need. So again, like social imagery, it's not just like random people. This is my sphere of influence right here. And I love this photo. And oh, that's not supposed to be there. Are we already back to the beginning? Where did my slides go? That makes me sad. Hang on. Jeff, this one, number 24. Okay, yeah, so that one, oh, this was the one, Wendy, she's my Humor Heals group. Sorry, that was weird that I must have skipped something. And then the Snohomies, this kind of represents, like, so right now, physically, I don't want to drive to Marysville. I don't want to drive to Mercer Island. I don't want to go to Bellingham or Kirkland. Like, I don't want to get on a freeway. Like it hurts. And so I'm like, how can I focus on within 5 miles of where I'm at? So even now I'm continuing to think, how can I flesh out my sphere of influence? And hey, Holly, I think you're in this photo here on the right, you and Stitch. Stitch is actually a big radio personality who I met at the chamber. He's now in PNA in Snohomish. And so I'm kind of refocusing on a little bit Snohomish, a little bit Mill Creek, Bothell, but for a year I did a ton of networking in Marysville. And right now I don't want to drive. No offense, Kelly. Like if I buy candy bars, you got to bring them to me because it hurts to get on the freeway. It really does. And so again, just visualizing, I feel like every 3 months or 6 months, it's important to do a little inventory of like, where do you want to focus your networking? Because we can't do in JR, I love your ambition of like, I'm going to take over Washington State. Like do that, but do it maybe one county at a time. Like build some major reputation and success in one county and then start to kind of grow it intentionally. Because as you can see, the darkness here, like everybody in PNA Snohomish knows me because I've gone there several times, right? Whereas like the homies, it's very opaque. I can't say it. It's like it's just more clear. I don't know that many people. Like I'm kind of a nobody in this group. Like 3 or 4 people know me, but I don't know 10,000 of them, right? So to me, it's an opportunity for me to focus some of my energy. Okay, let's see, what else do I have here? And then, okay, this is Crystal. So she's the gal that Brian and her made the whole thing happen. You got Kelly here making her magic happen. One of my friends from my Widows Club, the comedian, so again, it's like the photo in general is just people. But to me, these are wonderful, kind, generous, amazing people that I think we need to, look at our communities in a way of like, how can we help them and kind of build that team before we need it? So when and if we do need it, we know who we can call and who we can count on. So that's just kind of my general encouragement of like, build a great network before you need it. Because had I been super lonely during this, it would have been really hard. And then this photo, okay, so Jessica, she runs Bloss, which is like a up and coming women's community out of Snohomish County. The girl here who has no hair, she runs a podcast like for alopecia. She's a Lafayette graduate. We got Jeff Ritter here, my friend Judy, Stitch, and I look at each of these people and just their, their beautiful heads. They are also powerful in their own network, right? So while they're a big part of my network, they all have, like if we were to make data art for each of them, they all have a gorgeous and fruitful sphere of influence, right? Like, so I'm kind of highlighting some of my community today, but each of these people have their own following, friend group, customers, potential ideal clients, right? So if you start to really think about people, every contact you have has so much more than you may get on first glance or first smile or first handshake. So I want to encourage you guys to go deeper with those in your network. Again, just more volunteers. This gal here was at my birthday party last year when we went skydiving, and then Rhonda from the bank and her daughter. And I was like telling her, 6 months of savings is not enough. And so, but you just keep adding value to the people in your community and then they add value back. And there's this magic that happens. And I love that because people are great. Another one is Stitch. And again, you can see all of these people, all their heads to me, they mean something. Like they are all such remarkable humans. And had I not met Holly through her husband, who I was on his campaign, so there's a lot happening in these photos. And if you guys were to look through your own phone, I'm sure you would see a lot of beautiful connections. But to me, it was just so warm and wonderful to see them talking and sharing and connecting, in this great community. So big picture, if I were to take all those, combine them, this might be what that sphere of influence looks like for me personally. My challenge to each of you would be map out, sketch out, what are your 10, 20 groups that you are really focused on this quarter, ramping up into Christmas season, into the holidays, and where is that low hanging fruit, and where are the groups where if you did make a great reel, where would you share those reels? Because they can't just, just sit on the Instagram and not go anywhere. But if this overwhelms you or confuses you, I challenge you to reach out, because part of my passion at Dreamosity is, again, every 30 days, our sphere of influence is evolving and changing or shrinking or expanding, and how we show up on social media affects if we grow it or if it just, maybe we're ignoring people because we're too busy. But there's ongoing conversation here that as your life and dreams evolve, I want to come alongside you and help you build out intentionally your sphere of influence. And hopefully the months where you can experience financial joy, which is the result of a good sales and marketing plan, and apparently your body being physically well, But I love this stuff, you guys, and there is strategy here. It's not like you just show up and post. I mean, that can help, but there are deep strategies to growing more intentionally with social media. So reach out or go to dreamosity.com, set up a 15-minute appointment, or get a copy of Financial Joy, which talks about some of the myths between like just sales and networking versus actually asking for the order, right? Socializing alone does not grow your business. We've got to actually put pitches out there and make offers and do great things. Anyways, thanks for listening. Any questions? Brian, you're on mute.
Yep, I was just gonna say, there we go. Thank you, Marcel. Let's open up for questions. Who's got a question for Marcel? Well, I have one. I was gonna be polite and wait, but someone's being polite and waiting for me. Marcel, how long do you like working with your customers? Do you prefer X amount of time, 30, 60, 90 days, 120 plus, a year? What's your sweet spot to get people to a point where you can say with a history, you've done this to get them there?
I would definitely say a year or more is my favorite. I will work at 3 months or 6 months if people want, but the momentum that we've had for LaughTech, for example, we didn't have that much momentum in year one, right? And even now we're relaunching some things. My story with Lisa Hawkinson, like she had several, decent months, and then boom, all of a sudden a $20,000 month. And that wasn't in the first year. I'm pretty sure that was like her second or third year with me. And a lot of it depends on the momentum people already have. So if they have a lot of momentum, I can come alongside and accelerate that. If we're ramping up some momentum, that's a different campaign. But I really enjoy working with people for more than a year, because people do, and I've had some great clients that I've lost over the years. They moved to California or taken a job at a college or something. I grieve my clients, you guys. Like, I love the people I work with, and when that contract ends, there's like a hole in my life, and I feel, because I care about these people. You get to know them and their families, and so for me, I never want that relationship to end. It's just, it may not be a financial one anymore. It may be just a social connection and a good friendship. So hope that answers.
I think so. Yeah. Any other questions?
Yeah, Marcel, who's your perfect client? How would you describe the sort of sweet spot client?
I would say, I call them remarkable leaders, but these are often people who are bothered about something in society and they want to make a change, right? So like Kelly's actually in that category very well. She's like pissed off, there's some bad things happening, I'm going to do something about it, right? Her dream is bigger than her current skill set. So for me to come alongside her, I can absolutely help with that, right? And so I often say authors, messengers, people with a big vision, right? If your vision is to help 8 people, you don't need me, right? If you want to help 20,000 people, I can absolutely help you with that. And so there's got to be a bigger vision than just, I need to make more sales. Like that's an important vision, but it's not the driving, like social media is for social causes. But yeah, authors are great too. Like Kelly doesn't know it yet, but I'm gonna suggest she writes a book. Like there's author in her future or people that really have a strong message.
Well, guess what? She knows now. Okay.
P.S.
Yeah. Any other questions?
Great question, Mike.
Keep them coming. This is
For the
great.
question. So what kind of help could you provide somebody like me, who's not really out there a lot on social media? It's kind of a quieter type business. Not that I can't get out there on social media, but
I want to
I
answer
mean,
that.
what kind of things can you do for my world, I guess?
Yes, I would definitely help you find a daily rhythm for your social media activities and helping you build out what is your sphere of influence, aka your sales territory, right? I often joke, it could be your ministry or your sales territory, but I know you're in Sir Optimist. I know you're in DigitalPNA. I know you're in the Marysville living world, but like, what are those Facebook groups that support you? And what are the days when we could actually promote you in those, right? And we want to make sure we're hitting those, because if you're missing the Friday only post or the Tuesday only post, and so I would help you organize that and then execute it, right? And then the scripts. So I do believe in scripts. I think scripts can help people convert, but we may not know the first month what's the best thing to say. And so there's an ongoing conversation of, let me help you. Like I love at PNA here, we do the phrases to listen for, but like really getting you clear on what are the probing questions you can ask somebody at a chamber mixer or a barbecue that leads them up to, oh, I could be your bookkeeper, right? And so whatever those natural conversations are, and then of course building out your sales team, which you're already doing by being here. And then video, like video is not a 35-letter word. Like it is a wonderful way. Like when people don't have time, I'm like, well, start leveraging video because it accelerates. You know, every time you get off a Zoom with somebody and they had 6 questions, take one of those questions, hop on a reel or hop on, you know, like, so there's just stuff that you're constantly teaching and educating. Why not record it and then, you know, refer to it later? So
And
there's
she'll
some
teach you how to be a seagull. You can always say, mine. Take it for yourself.
or how to build a team of seagulls when you're too hesitant to be strong, right? Like I was, what I didn't say on my presentation is all those people helping were people going to bat for me when I was kind of not at my best, right? So
Excellent. Any other questions? Okay. Fantastic. Okay, so we're going to go back to just what she had just said. It was so cool about PNA, including DigitalPNA. It is the speech breakout portion. We're going to talk about a bit of a deeper dive. Let's talk about her target market. Who would be an ideal person or business that would need Miss Marcel's business?
Everybody, because the whole world is on social media.
Yes, let's just all refer the world to Marcel. Very good. But no, it is a good point. People who are either on social media and not getting any level of success or penetration into their markets. I like what Marcel said. She's looking for remarkable leaders. I've challenged her in the past. Occasionally, I'm like, well, what if they just want to become remarkable, but right now they're kind of just so-so. Like we work with the so-so and get them to the remarkable stage. So she's never really given me a straight answer, but I think that would be a good person, someone who's hungry and coachable. Anyone else? Like Kelly, apparently.
Well, nonprofits and NGOs. Seattle actually is a very good community for nonprofit and NGOs.
Yeah. Okay. Anyone else? I definitely think bookkeepers and accountants, because my God, you have a crazy busy world, Holly. And if you could do 90-second shorts about the funny things or the serious things or the top 5s or whatever, just get out and smile and show people that you actually have a personality, which I know most bookkeepers and accountants have. They just hide it, right? Because they're just too busy being awesome. Get it on video. Start becoming more likable, more listenable, more watchable, hence ROIable, right? Marcel could help you with that.
You could do super funny shorts about doing like biggest mistakes for like write-offs.
Yeah.
You know, like that would be super funny. Like someone tried to write off their shoes. Yeah, you can't do that. And I actually have a funny story you could post about that.
There you go.
Yeah.
Collaboration. Speaking of which,
We'll
ideal partners to collaborate with. Who would, Marcel play well in the sandbox with? And this part always kind of confuses me, but what sorts of resources should members be out there identifying? Marcel, I never understood why you wanted it written like that. But you can unmute instead of type, for crying out loud.
There used to be a shared working space. I don't know if it still exists, called the Impact Hub. The idea was that this shared working space would be attractive to NGOs and nonprofits who may or may not be able to collaborate, but being in the same place at the same time would help that. I don't know if it still exists, but something like that, a way that aggregates nonprofits that want to change the world.
Yeah, I like it. Okay. Marcel, are we missing anything specific under the ideal partners and collaboration ideas?
well, I just said like Facebook groups. I know Kelly set up a new one recently that she added me to, but I'm all about, like, I have a directory of over 100 groups, you guys, that I'm connected to or have been for my clients. But new Facebook groups, new leaders initiating communities, that's my jam, because they're going to get a lot of momentum, and there's a point where they're like, oh crap, what do I do now?
Okay.
And if they're willing to listen, I can help with some of that.
Great. Okay.
I was also thinking all the women's groups that are out, like Bloss or Now Networking or Scroptimus, like that would be really huge too, because I didn't even know about them until Renee was like, hey, we want to give you an award. I was like, what do you do? Like, who are you? Like, I've never heard of it before.
Yeah.
It's because she doesn't do video yet. You
Yeah,
wanna
they don't
push
do
for it.
anything. And I was looking at them online and I'm like, I still don't understand what you guys do. So it's like those women's groups that could really help other people, but you could promote them so people like me can find them and find the right one that fits what I need to do.
Well,
Exactly.
and Kelly, that's a really good point, because when I started my graphic design business 30 years ago, I had absolutely no idea that small business networking groups existed. It wasn't something you opened up the yellow pages, which, by the way, Kelly, you're like 12. The yellow pages was a big book about 10 inches thick people sat on if they were too short to eat at the table. No, it was the resource guide. That's what we
I
had.
sat on
So-
those. Don't worry, I'm not that young.
You never opened one, but you sat on one. But point is that I would never have known to look up small business networking group that meets weekly. So when I was introduced to other networking organizations, then my eyes began to open up to all of the things that were interwoven and connected. And nowadays with social media, which replaced so many of those types of things, but the connectivity is there, those layers are there. And Marcel, that's what you beautifully and eloquently expressed today, showing these overlapping different sizes of circles of influence. How many does that 30K community influence versus that 10K or that 3,000? So any one of you that are doing video work or want to do video work because you need help and you're going to hire Marcel because you're smart, to talk about the connections made between these types of groups would be huge, not only for those groups, but also for you all to become even more of the subject matter experts than you're already either pretending to be or already are. And by the way, pretending is not a bad thing, because you are the subject matter expert every day until you give someone reason to think otherwise. So always remember that, right? Even if you're unsure about something, you can just say, hey, I don't know, let me find out. That still retains that status in their minds. So anything else under beneficial syndications? I kind of skipped ahead there because I threw her a kudo. Did you like her presentation? Ideas for future presentations? Thoughts?
It was fun seeing the pictures from the event. I wish I could have been there. And it's just interesting seeing like some of the connections that we have in common. Like I've known you, Marcel, probably now for 6 years too, and seeing like some of those connections that we have in common that I didn't really know we had in common. It was kind of fun.
Yeah. Awesome.
I think it would be great in a presentation like that to see some, I hesitate to say animation, but if you're growing your sphere of influence, gee, it'd be great to see those spheres grow, or how if you put effort into something and it progresses, like those spheres, it'd be fun to see that visually.
Yeah, I love that idea. And it is interesting because some groups will just grow without our effort. And then some, it's like it takes a long time to get to 100 members from just our own effort. That would be a very fun project for me to work on. Thanks, Mike.
So Marcel, I loved your presentation. I love the fact that it was a kind of a soliloquy of thanks and awareness and a little bit of rawness, because you're admitting that it was hard to ask for help, etc. I still think that there was a lot to communicate, even in 20 minutes. So I want to encourage you to remember that we're along that journey with you. But as you started to dive into 2, 3, 4 people, situations, businesses, I mean, I'm involved in all this with you, and I got a little lost, right? Because I'm already riding that emotional roller coaster, ironically, that we teach in Laugh Tech. But I do want to compliment you, because I think this was probably a difficult presentation for you to create, not because it was X amount of pages of content, but because it was something so personal. And I love the fact that you're just willing to kind of throw that out there. So it was bold, and I liked it. Thank you. Anyone else?
I just want to say also thank you for sharing, Marcel. It was really great to be a part of that morning session there, and to see in person all the people, or portion of the people that are supporting you, and just appreciate you being so open and honest, and teaching us how to say I need help, and because that doesn't come easy for most of us, and I just appreciate you.
Yeah, outstanding. Okay, so the next section is other businesses that we think we need to go look for to, in this case specifically, maybe help Marcel's business grow, but at the same time, all of us from the benefits of a virtual butt-in chair, right? I still would love to get a videographer as part of this group that's also frankly willing to travel. At the same time, ironically, I just learned of a just saw Kelly's doodle pop up in the chat. Jeez, Kelly, way to distract me. There's a videographer that's actually in Oregon I'm going to reach out to. He publishes all the time. Send me your stuff. I'll edit and do all the stuff and get it back to you. Holy crap, what a brilliant idea. That means that this cat's not even shooting the material, but he's going to go ahead and do the work for a client and make it, you know, sexy and marketable. So I'd love to get a videographer in this group that's open to the size and potential reach that DigitalPNA has. Anyone else? Any other businesses that we can bring in you can think about?
I would love an intellectual property lawyer type of person. I feel like I've got a couple people I know that need a trademark, or I don't know those steps, but I feel like I could recommend them if they were here. I would like to figure out how to leverage my intellectual stuff more than just sharing it freely.
Yeah. So technically that would just be a business lawyer, but if it's a specific trademark and patent attorney, that's a very specific person. But yeah,
that would be cool.
Excellent. Anyone know one? It's like, no, I do, but I know he's got more business than he knows what to do with. So that's JD Hoonover, whatever his name is. He's up in the Marysville area. He's super busy.
I would also love an animator. Like Mike had a great idea. If somebody could take my slides, because I don't think I'm going to learn animation. I mean, I guess I maybe could, but I'd rather just hire somebody.
Yeah.
Have somebody we could refer to, because I could probably give them a lot of data art type of things of, here, I have this idea, and I'll make
Me
it
too.
move.
Yeah.
Me too.
Did we say a while ago a copywriter would be useful?
We've said that before. I would kill to have a good copywriter and actually copy editor. Those often are two completely separate people. I'd love to have them in a network. Mike, reach into BizX and get people interested in DigitalPNA, man. Come on.
Well, I was thinking of a person I used to work with years ago who has Eagle Eyes Editing. She's both a copywriter and a copy editor, and she's wonderful.
Well, yay for wonderful. And my God, please reach out to her. I'd love to meet her, for crying out loud. That's great. Thank you. Any other businesses we can think of? Okay. Well, Marcel's typing something. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, she put her, Eagle Eye Editing. Nice. Look at you, Marcel, Speedy Gonzalez, finding the link in the chat window. Excellent. Okay, the next part of the slideshow, I don't want to have to keep bringing it up, but that's just me being silly. Referrals and testimonials. I don't need to bring that slide up for that. We are at the referral and testimonial part. If you have one, speak toward it. If you do not, you may pass, but ideally you can say something nice about somebody. Might be hard for some of you. I don't know. It's fine. I'm going to just go ahead and copy paste from the original thing here. I'm going to add in Mike. Oh, JR and Mike, I merged, but you get the drift. There should be a dash there. So Marcel, do you have any referrals, testimonials?
Well, a big shout out and thank you to Courtney for being a sponsor of the event, and to Kelly for volunteering at the event, and Mike for being a donor supplier, and Holly for being there and getting your mom there. It was so wonderful to see her. And then of course, Brian for being the ringleader, top seagull in charge, best dressed in the room, going to bat for his business partner because he doesn't want her to drown. So thank you.
You're welcome.
And I don't know if I have any referrals at the moment, but I feel like I probably should.
You
I
technically do.
feel like I need an assistant because I'm so behind on things and I just can't afford one right now.
And
If you're
you have
waiting for
one
me
for
on
me.
something, just follow back because
Marcel, you have one for me. You and I have a couple small design projects we're going to start.
oh, who is that?
All your icons and whatnot. There's a few things like that we're working on.
Oh yeah, we're gonna turn all my Discovery Deck icons white so I can leverage them differently with video.
Very exciting, people.
And that's a Photoshop thing. I can't do that in Canva. So
Not Photoshop. You always say Photoshop's not Photoshop.
Illustrator, whatever.
This is why I do it, not her.
Oh, and I was gonna tell Brian. So my social worker, she's going to school for nutrition. She's gonna need a logo. I'm working on her for you. She's not there yet, but she, I think, would be a great addition to the Snohomish County medical world because the system's messy.
That's great. Actually, given Kelly's awe-inspiring doodle, maybe she should get the logo design work because she's got a future. Absolutely. Yeah. Okay. All right, Miss Holly, what you got for us?
I don't have any referrals at the moment, but I made a little spreadsheet of everybody's contact information so I can be ready because I'm on the lookout. And then I made a list of those people and a few others that we'd like to invite. So I'm going to be reaching out this week with invites. So because I know I know a videographer and I know a couple CPAs. So
Outstanding. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Mike.
Yeah, I too know a videographer, a guy named Jordan Shipley, Media Movement, I think his name is, or company name is. And that copywriter, thank you for bringing that up. The more I think about Michelle and Eagle Eyes, the more I like the fit with DigitalPNA. So I'll be reaching out to her.
Outstanding. Mike, thank you. Courtney. Oh, you're muted.
Sorry, I don't have any referrals today, but I just want to thank Marcel for sharing her pictures from her event. Like I said earlier, I wish I could have been there, but and I know that I do want to reach out to you because we had talked a little bit a couple weeks ago about just wanting to get together and do a one-on-one and review some stuff. So I'll be reaching out to you probably today just so we can get that rolling.
Outstanding. So Marcel, a little beknownst to all of you, is technically supposed to be the vice president. She's supposed to track this type of thing. So Marcel, write down an inside lead. Courtney to Marcel.
I think it would be the other way around.
You're right. You're right. I've been drinking apparently. Okay. Very good. Okay, who's next? That'd be Kelly.
Thank you, Marcella and Brian, for letting me volunteer at your event. I forgot how much fun they are, actually. How much I really like doing them. It was so much fun to watch you be cherished for the day and just kind of take it all in. That I think was my favorite part. We share a lot of that same mindset as we're like strong, independent women. Like we don't really like need your help, but we're gonna ask for it. So I just love you and adore you. And I was thinking I can approach them, and I don't know if they'd be good for this group, but I use a company called Your Business Connection, and they do everything. So she is my accountant, my CPA, she does logos, she does graphics design, They do website building, so she's just got a team of like everybody, so you don't have to like use 5 different companies to get things done. So I can talk to her about if this is something that she would like to join. She's based out of Michigan. So I don't know if like the time frame or anything will work, but she does have a representative here in Snohomish County, so that I go through. But she does a little bit of everything. So I will reach out to her and see if it's something that she would like to do. It's just, I'm really glad that I found them because they just do everything. Like they even do
great.
fundraising and event planning and all of that stuff. So yes.
Well,
Okay.
Kelly, I'd like an introduction to them because of my auctioneer work and MC work. If
Yeah,
they
so
potentially want to outsource me for that as well.
Oh yeah, I didn't even think about that.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Jorge.
No referrals today, but I wanted to say I'm glad to be back. Marcel, you did a great job. Fantastic. And looking forward to being back and seeing you guys more often.
Awesome. Thank you for that. Mike. Oh,
Well, I
you're
have
Mike.
gone. Yeah, unless
Yeah.
you want me to.
I just can't read my own copy pasting for some reason. Okay. That means me. I wanted to also mirror what Marcel has said. So Kelly and Holly and Courtney and Mike, you bought a ticket, but you couldn't show up apparently. So thanks for your donation.
I was there in spirit.
You were there in spirit, yeah. But no, a huge thank you to honestly the entire PNA Northwest network. A lot of people did that sort of thing, whether they showed up or whether they sent her a Venmo denomination of whatever. It all added up. And yeah, if anyone ever has the hot idea of doing 6 months worth of work in 27 days, especially if it comes out of my mouth, please punch me hard so I wake up next week or something, because that was painful, but not as much pain as Marcel's going through right now. So it was all worth it. And I'm incredibly thankful for everyone who showed up and who donated their time, like the Kellys of the world, and just, harassed people as they walked in at registration and shook them down for more drink tickets. Kelly's surprisingly stout and scrappy. Anyway, it was great. Mike, I have a referral for you. Her name is Mary Beth. And since we've been talking about you potentially joining the Mill Creek chapter from a physical standpoint, not just this amazing world Digital PNA, she is a men's barber. And I'm not trying to say you need a haircut, but damn it, all this today is because of her. I look at least okay. But she does great work, and she is very interested in BizX because ironically, I was talking to her about the chamber. I'd like to get her into the Mill Creek chamber because there's no hairstylist, and in her case, a men's barber specialist in all of Mill Creek chamber. And then I was like, oh, at the $500 level, you can do 250 BizX and 250 cash. And she's like, what's BizX? And I said, glad you asked. And the whole time she's like sheep shearing me. So I had to talk loud. But she's very interested now. So that could be an opportunity for you, as well as more people need to start hearing about what you do. And Holly, I think about you from the standpoint of if you can open more doors because you hang X amount of your, I'm open shingle on the BizX door, and, a small amount of your services from the virtual currency perspective. And then you decide when to convert it to real cash. So you're making real money, et cetera. It's a really great problem to have. Jorge, I know real estate agents that are putting a percentage of their commissions on BizX. And that's about as smart as I can sound. Mike, you can probably have a one-to-one with him and talk about that.
Well said.
But to get your community, Jorge, out in the BizX world, because you live in Quebec, granted there's the conversion and the passport issue, but I'm sure he can work with you. So there's so many opportunities for exposure and syndication just in this group alone, and you all just pretty much rock the Casbah. It is that simple. So okay. Oh gosh, back to sharing screen. Unless anybody has anything else that they forgot to share and want to now. Dun, dun, dun. Nope. Okay. Speaker rotation. She's not here right now, but I will let her know. Karen Koenig, one of our financial advisors. The only actual category in this group we have 2 of. We have Corey Bear, who's ironically also not here. But Karen will be the speaker on the 20th. So again, that's also the next meeting, folks, the 20th. At one point last month, one of you, I'll not say who, dialed in like in the middle of the month. And I could say, you know, someone has joined the meeting. I'm like, nope, we don't have a meeting. So that's what's going on there. And does anyone have any announcements? Anything going on in your local networks? I do have one screen share, but I'll wait for that.
I do.
Marcel.
So I don't have it on Facebook yet, but I got on Meetup last week. So I'm slowly trying to bring back developing digital U. It was really strong before the pandemic, and it's not yet really taken off again.
Tell us what
But
that
I
is.
have a venue now in downtown Mill Creek at Expedia Cruises, so I can do up to 10 people. But I'm doing a twist on back to school syndication strategies. So just like a school bus is going to go out and make multiple stops in a neighborhood, I'm kind of helping people build their route for their videos, if you will. So I'm doing a $30 ticket for a 2-hour event, again, up to 10 people. I don't know if you guys have Meetup. You'll be able to RSVP through Facebook soon. But that will be a fun, just kind of networking event where people get to cross collaborate in terms of venues or whatnot, or video collaboration ideas. I'll do a little bit of storyboarding 101. So if you're willing to come out to Mill Creek, that is September 14th at 5:30. We'd love to see you all there.
Awesome. Anyone else have anything else going on that's awe-inspiring, exciting you want to share? Okay, you asked for it. I'll share this then. Comedy night. Anyone local or anyone want to drive over the border and the pass and everything? Jorge, you could show up one night and surprise us. Love to see some faces in the audience, except for chairs. Summer is officially over, so what better way to welcome in weeks of crappy weather, rain, and tears with comedy, with laughter. Let's do it. Come join us. Great fun. Anyone PNA related can show up and still pay $15 because we're cool like that. I do want to point out, even though it's a really small picture, John, who's in the middle here, you guys, I don't know if you can see my mouse moving. Can you see my mouse? Can you see my mouse? Okay.
Yes.
That guy is the one with the annoying laugh on the Jubal show. So he's the guy that's always the background. Anyway, he's like famous and he's cool. And he has a really annoying cackle laugh that he's literally famous for as well. Also a great, great comedian. We had Tony at the Day show. So I think Kelly and Holly experienced his humor. He was a surprisingly funny dude. He was kind of laid back, almost like a Chappelle type of delivery, but he was a funny guy, like surprisingly. He was the first time on our stage. So really we took a risk, if I'm being honest. But he was great, and it was great to have him as part of the event. So love to see folks come out the 15th. That's literally around the corner for those of you good at math or calendars or whatever. I'll put it in the chat window here. If you want to come.
Quick question on comedy night. Do you guys have like a dry comedy night, as in like
family friendly, you mean?
That was last Sunday.
Yeah. Oh, there were quite a few people that were offended at the event. But like I have my au pair coming and I would love to take her to an event, but I don't know if she's gonna want to learn about masturbation and why our hands are that big, or getting whatever women's thing done. Like, so I'm just curious on if you have certain nights that are a little more appropriate.
The best answer I can give you is, for starters, I was a little surprised by some of the comedy during the supposed clean show, because the daytime was supposed to be clean. I don't think anyone broke anyone's brains or hearts or souls, but some of it wasn't supposed to happen. So it's kind of a hit or miss. It should have been a hit. Occasionally it's a miss. We don't often do clean shows because it brings out I hate to say it, a lower caliber of comedian.
Yeah.
Because nowadays everyone's trying to do shock and awe in some capacity, whether it's the sexual content or just swearing or whatever. So we will probably eventually do a clean show and market it as like the Tupperware series, like squeaky clean, holy crap, like, you want to save your vegetables in it. But
well,
very short,
And Kelly, I don't
Yes.
know if you're in Humor Heals yet, but I
Hmm.
tried a couple months ago to do inspirational improv, and I want to bring that back as an evening Zoom thing where people can, you know, stretch their TEDx muscle or tell jokes that are more like inspired in nature. Like I feel like I have some really funny jokes from this medical journey that are like, hey, this was terrible, but you can you can do it, like part joyful cheerleading, but part like this was really embarrassing and awkward, but not like overly over the top nasty. And so stay tuned for inspirational improv because I think you would eat that up. And it'd be fun to get some of your cop buddies on there, and your au pair could come and do like a 3-minute prompt where you just would give questions and then people do improv, like again, inspirational improv with the goal of elevating the community versus making you feel embarrassed.
Yeah, well, and I was able to grab Sam at the end of the show really quick before I had to leave. And we were talking about him coming out to doing a benefit for Back the Blue. And I was like, you would be perfect. And I got to tell him a little bit about my story, but then other people like kind of came in and now he's touring all over the country. So, but he would be perfect for a benefit for what I'd like to do. Like,
So Kelly, one last thing. I have clean comedians. I have squeaky clean comedians that are just as good as Kermit, who you witnessed. And Kermit is the internationally known cleanest Hawaiian Zone Seattle native. So we have people like that. I was limited to those willing to provide their service this time around for free, so that also culled the herd pretty quick, if you get my drift. Anyway, we can talk if you're looking for clean ones, or if we end up, Marcel and I end up doing a Friday night, some night that is, like I said, the Tupperware series. So
yeah, I'll have to see what she likes, but I'm just trying to look for events I can take her to kind of get her in the public.
It's a great idea. Start at the Funko store and work your way up. So good.
Well, she wants to do theater. She wants to do arts and theater. So I don't know.
Most theaters have closed.
I'm like, I am not your person for that.
Little Mermaid's coming to some local theater. I don't know if that's exciting, but no. Okay. So folks, we're technically at the end of the agenda, and I think it's because we're a couple people short, so not as many people were talking and stuff throughout. I'd like to open it up for if anybody has any questions about stuff in general, their business. We can help one another, or we can just awkwardly stare at Holly and see how long it takes for her to get freaked out. Whatever it takes. Okay, a squirrel is now staring at me through my screen door. That's weird. So who's got something? If not, like I said, you're welcome to disappear back into the forest, like the squirrel. I wish it would. That's weird. Anybody?
I have a lot of questions. I'm not sure this room will have the answer. Should I just start listing up my questions?
If you have one question you'd like to ask Marcel, you can open up the floor.
Well, okay, I'm gonna ask a Dreamosity question then. Have you guys ever gone to my website more than once? Like, I'm in this place now where I'm like, I want to reestablish Dreamosity as a resource in the community, not just, hey, come hire me for my services, but like, this is kind of I was telling Kelly, there's a gap between like the public safety, the mental health, all the chambers they're all doing their great individually, but there's not like one person saying, like, look at how amazing Snohomish County is, all these resources.
Well, I mean, I've been to your website countless times. I think the better question is, which pages do you want people to go to and give us the website?
Well, and actually my question is, are there any other communities like that or websites already where you're like, they are doing the best job of being a community resource other than like a hospital or like every nonprofit's an island, right? And I want to like facilitate the nonprofits and the medical teams and the business communities, right? Because I can make a page in 10 minutes. I don't know. Do you think that'd be valuable?
Yes. Yeah, I worked for a nonprofit for many, many years that was saddled by a very complicated story, an important story, but a lot of information, and an executive director who, like many executive directors of the nonprofits that I've interacted with, is so passionate about what they do that they communicate everything, every possible thing. which muddies the actual process.
Yeah.
The more you could apply a graphic simplification and powerful messaging to as a resource to nonprofits that typically can't see the forest through the trees, the better.
Yeah, I
Mhm.
can imagine if they all had beautiful graphics for their own sphere of influence. Like we're all connected, right? And that's where it's like, to me, I want there to be harmony across the industries and across these like the local leaders and what they're doing. But right now there's so many islands, and I'm like, it wouldn't be that hard to connect, better.
Mhm. Anyone else? So Marcel, you and I talked about this the other day, and part of me is a little bit, I guess, confused because I think I know what you're wanting to accomplish, but it seems very big. So the question is, have you determined the proper starting point to essentially become that concierge for XYZ, right?
It's like, for the last 15 years, I've had all these clients, and I always tell them have 5 to 25 Facebook groups, right? So then I start tracking these groups for them. But now I'm holding on to 100+ groups, and I'm pretty sure Holly would like to know all of them, and Mike would like to know all of them, and Kelly would like to know all of them, right? And I don't want people to have to hire me to get access to that. At the same time, like, I need to just distribute things. It's not like a reel, but like it'd be on dreamosity.com/directory, and boom, here's Snohomish's best top 100. Well, I don't know. Like, I have the data, and I'm just sitting on it, and I feel like that's not very helpful. So,
Well, not unlike the PNA directory that I publish and update ideally once a quarter, it has, all the information, all the places, all the people. If you have something that is like that, right, then it's, each page or each section is per category, like accountants, CPAs, nonprofits, property and casualty insurance people, real estate agents, etc. That becomes an invaluable directory because if it's coming from you, it's assumed that these are all vetted professionals, or maybe it should be assumed. So then if that's the case, then you just start, right? You just start compiling it. Unless I'm missing something here.
well, and I think you're looking at individual businesses with PNA. I'm looking at communities, right?
So then take exactly what I just said and
Yeah.
write the word community on top,
Yeah, I like that.
right? And I'm not trying to be sarcastic. I'm just saying that it can be that easy. It's not like you're reinventing the wheel. You're just creating a really good reel.
Mhm.
Jorge, were you contributing there on mute or talking to yourself? Okay, still on mute. That's fine. I can read lips.
I'm at the office and people are wondering why I'm being silent to them. So I'm like,
just
ignore
keep
me, I'm
saying,
not here.
I'm the strong and silent
Like,
type.
I'm on a
Leave me
call.
alone.
yeah.
That's awesome. Okay. Anyone else have any thoughts regarding this? Did that help him?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Anyone else have a question or a problem or anything we could address in exactly 7 minutes? Okay. One thing I want to toss out real quick. Yes, DigitalPNA is all that in a bag of chips. And yes, it is growing. And I will address with those who haven't been here, my wish for them to try to make it more of a want to be here for whatever reason. I will put in the chat window here really quickly. Y'all can click on it and see. Those are the only people that have submitted their information to me for the actual membership page. Oh, look at the shame that went across Jorge's face. The shame. The shame. I love you, brother. Kelly, I'm just going to be mad at you. You owe me a candy bar. Point is, I want to get all your profile pages built out. It helps you. It helps your business. Please get that to me. And if you don't remember, I will shake my head again, but I can resubmit that to you in email form. So you can just go down the list and fill out the information. Free delivery. No. Anywho, so I will send that out again. That's no problem. What I was going to say though, aside from me sidetracking myself, please also remember that we have I'm thinking closer to some of the people I see here on the call here. We have a Snohomish chapter that's banging right now and they're growing quickly. And we have a Linwood chapter. I did lose my Everett chapter early this year, that's okay. But my point is that if you know people that are hungry and want to connect with people, whether face to face, like I'm going to talk to Mike about the Mill Creek chapter after this call, there's still a much larger and bigger community, 96 members now throughout the entire organization that want to connect with you people. And even as digital PNA members, if you can get to any physical location up to twice a quarter, do so, because they want to meet you. Even if you show up and your category is already represented there, you just don't give a commercial about your business. You say, I'm here to connect with some people I don't have in my chapter, whatever the case is, because you don't want to step on toes, right? But my point is, Holly, lots of opportunity for you. No one does what you do through any chapter. Mind blown, right? Mine is
Who?
Holly,
Oh, we don't have a bookkeeper?
a bookkeeper. Oh, I guess I do have one other, Rosie.
Yeah.
Yeah, but she's out of a different chapter and she's making the rounds. She just met Courtney on Tuesday because she showed up as a guest, right? So point is, there's plenty of opportunities. So think about that. Jump online, go to the chapters, determine their times and dates, and start putting that in your open networking calendar. I just highly, highly recommend that if you're within the state. Canadians like Jorge, I can't help. So I'm kidding, folks. He's just over in Cleellum, which is Canadian for far away. So, all right, everybody, go off, have a phenomenal rest of your week. It's hump day. Go treat yourself to a late lunch on Jorge, because Canadian currency exchange rate's pretty good. Be good to yourselves. We'll see you all in 2 weeks on the 20th. Bring a guest. And that's it for now. Thanks, everybody.
It's all good to see you.
Thank you.